Warning, this video contains rumors, speculation, strong opinions, and
Good afternoon, Warriors! Welcome to Movie Madness, Episode 3, bringing the madness to movie talk like only this madman can. And we got an interesting show today, including some YouTube beef with Black Angus reviews. I got some beef with Black Angus. Actually, no. I'm going to give a shout out to Black Angus, even before the... Who knows how this video is going to go, honestly, but I'm going to do it because that's what Movie Madness is about. Finally, some real talk here on YouTube. So to keep count, even before recording this episode, I lost a subscriber and I got called an unironic hipster. Let's see how this goes. I encourage you all to go check out Black Angus reviews and check out his take on all this, including his most recent video. Make up your own minds. You could also see our lively debate in the comments section, which I enjoyed. I enjoyed it. But on to the topic, and his video goes right into the topic of today's Movie Madness, the state of movie talk, the state of Star Wars, the state of movie fandom. What's really going on? Because in my opinion, Star Wars, Game of Thrones, and the MCU, and all of movie talk, including so-called reviews and talk, is a disaster right now. It's ruined, it's broken, and with the MCU, it's now going through a phase. A phase! At least we hope it is. Now, why am I bringing this up now? Why? Because it's important. And I think people have given up and they're just going with the status quo. Including led by, from the top to the bottom, including Black Angus reviews, they're just going to show up day one. All this talk is just talk. When fans were saying, let's boycott Solo, and they raised questions, they paid their super chats to ask if we should boycott. What did the High Council say? Episode 9's the important one. What's the plan for Episode 9 besides the Comico's new Indiegogo? That's the only plan I see for Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Cyberfrog 2! Am I wrong? What? Did I miss something? I'm subscribed to all of them. Tell me if I missed something. I just watched an EVS video the other day where he's like, Boycott, Episode 9. I don't see that they've done anything wrong. So I'm not sure about that. You know he's not gonna miss it. The reviews for The Rise of Skywalker so you can push your Indiegogo. Cyberfrog, funded by Star Wars fans and Comics Geek fans. Only guarantee from the Fandom Menace for Episode 9 is more campaigns and more t-shirts. Do you park in front of the dumpster fire to profit from the flames and feed the fire? That's my questions to you. To all the fandom. If you think I'm wrong, hash it out in the comments. Hash it out! What has the Fandom Menace become? The thing they hate? You spend so long doing it, you become the thing you hate. The dumpster fire brings you notoriety, fame, celebrity, and funds. Do you try to put out the fire? Or do you watch it go and pay your tickets day one to see it? How soy is that? Black Angus and some other supporters of the Fandom Menace have brought up some good arguments. I'm not gonna lie, he brought up some good points. One of the points is they don't ask for super chats. But here's my point. When you camp on the streets of YouTube with your super chat cup and you only dance when you're paid, are you a lover of fandom or a whore for it? This can't be the future of fandom. There's a lot of goodwill going on. Is it being exploited? Is there a plan besides watching the fire and profiting from it? Not to go all Tico on you, but there's a lot of war profiteering going on. That is very Tico, you Tico paths. But it's the truth too. I'm not against capitalism, but the reality is there's SJWs on both sides. There's virtue signaling on both sides. What would the Mary Sue, that website, be without the Fandom Menace? And what would the Fandom Menace be without Mary Sue? Are they trying to make a difference? Or are they profiting from you just clicking blindly? Hate clicks! Real talk! This is what I want to bring to the conversation. I want to have a conversation. I don't want an echo chamber. I don't want a high council circle jerk with ass-kissing contest for super chats. The High Council is funded by smaller channels looking for a shout-out. Am I lying? Look at the reality of the situation. Not like what I'm saying, but tell me if I'm wrong. Go through each of these points in this video. Tell me if I'm wrong. You want to have a real conversation? The Star Wars fandom is a mess right now. Back to that Disney Stockholm Syndrome. Star Wars Stockholm Syndrome. You fall for every trick in the book. Everyone's back on board to see this rise of Skywalker. When there's nothing new! The same tricks! Here's my final point in this conversation, and I'm going to try to move on to something else. And I know I'm getting maybe I went too far, but it's a worthy conversation, I'll tell you that. And I'd love to hear from your point of view. But here's my final point. EVS is against SJW infected comics. He says he's a big old Star Wars fan. Would the group of the Fandom Menace show up for a day one release of a new Captain Marvel comic? No. But would they for a new Star Wars film? You better believe it. And that's why I have a problem. They're not doing any gangsta shit stopping this crap from happening. They're parked in front of the dumpster fire, buying tickets and laughing at it together, encouraging their fans to. And all those smaller YouTube channels that show up for the live stream, super chat, mention my channel. And I don't blame them. I'm not here for nothing. There's many reasons I'm here on YouTube. I'd like to make a little. I'm not against that. But the fandom's not a bank. This is the problem with internet culture and social media to begin with. Go fund yourself! Or use it for something that matters. Someone that can't help themselves. That's what it was intended for. Not another withdrawal from the bank of fandom. You keep coming back to the bank of fandom? To me, honestly, this situation with the Fandom Menace is as bad as the show situation before The Last Jedi. Abuse of fans' goodwill. The fan is not in fandom. And there's lots of... there's a menace in fandom. And it's with the High Council, the Circle Jerk, and ass-kissing contest that you could see every Tuesday. Do they talk about plans? Here's my super chat for the High Council tonight. Why don't you put some bark? Or why don't you put some bite with all that? I'm leaving that in. I'm leaving it in. Put some bite with all that bark and make a stand against this crap and boycott hard. Warcott hard. And I'm not paying for this super chat. I don't pay for my friends. I talk to them. Comment below. Let me know. I got real worked up there because fandom is important to me. And I'm not a leader. I don't have delusions of grandeur. I don't think I'll ever get to 5,000 subscribers. I think I'll lose them every day I make a video like this. But it's important. If you see something, say something. The fandom's not in a good spot right now. I'm going back to it. Let me get to a super chat before I forget. Because super chats and talking to you guys is important to me. I don't want you to have go over a paywall. Here's what I do to paywalls. I smash them! Smash the paywall! Fans have enough things to pay for. Enough subscriptions. How can you criticize big companies and then show for your Patreon just $1 a day or $1 a month or whatever? It's another subscription for being a fan. That's not what fandom's about. Okay, get back into the super chat. Hey, Warriors! Welcome and show some support to this Star Warrior and Toxic Avenger to Disney's box office and their bottom line. Because they don't fear a menace. They fear a warrior that takes a stand. That's who Lucasfilm and Disney fear. It's people that they don't actually show up. Stay on your couch. There's enough to catch up on. That's my plan to Warcott. I'm gonna stay on my couch. A 30-plus year veteran from my couch! And I'll stay there until you start listening to fans. Okay, here is the question. Should all future movies be greenlit based on fan petitions and crowd fan funding? Absolutely not. But when there's a problem, you gotta address it and not ignore it. There's a lot of... Collider likes to say, if you're a fan of the team, a sports team, you show up, no matter what. Not when you don't put your star players in and you ignore the fans. Then you don't. I don't expect them to listen to everything we say in every petition. But when the backlash is big enough, you respond. You take in criticism. You know how to get better in life? You listen to your harshest critics. That's what I do here too. If you're a critic of mine, comment below. Tell me where I went wrong. Tell me. Tell me, did I go too mad? Did I take it too far in this episode? I think I'm going to take it further. I'll only do it with your support, but honestly, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Did you come for real talk? Or an echo chamber? A circle jerk? Seriously. So that's my response to your super chat. No, but when you're not, we expect companies to do their job. But when you don't do your job, you gotta listen, respond, and respect. And we're not getting any of those three. Listen, respond, and respect the fandom. And we don't get any of that. Hey! Blu-ray Steelbook recommendation. Now, I love this movie. Guy Ritchie, what a waste. Just going to do Disney films and big box off. He kind of sold out, didn't he? Here's one of his first. I don't actually like the cover too much, but I try to buy anything on Steelbook, but I definitely recommend the movie. A disgrace to criminals everywhere. If you haven't seen this movie, comment below, check it out. If you have, tell me what you think of it. I gotta watch this again, actually. See, I don't even remember. There's nothing on the Blu-ray. No pictures. Honestly, I was gonna do more segments on this episode. And to be completely transparent, I get really intense. So intense that I need to cool down. So I think I'm just gonna end this episode now. Cool down and think about my life. No, cool down and think about what I'm doing here. Because I do want to make a difference. But this honestly gets me depressed. And I think I'm just going to go. I'll be back for tomorrow's episode. I appreciate you frequent commenters. And I will be here to respond. This was a heated one. I meant to be more joking, but it kind of got off the rails a little bit too much. But I'm going to keep it as is. And I still, even though I disagree with him wholeheartedly, and go check out the Fandom Collective. Because even though I disagree with them a lot of times, they're fans trying to come together. And I support that. So go check out Black Ink. The one I got a beef with! Black Angus Reviews and the Fandom Collective. Give them some love. And the one thing I will give them a lot of respect for is we had a conversation, at least me and Black Angus did today, and there was no paywall, and it was worth talking about. I love talking about them because it was a different opinion. So that's all I got to say. Comment below, let me know. See you in the next video.